Good morning. Today is Friday, February 10th. It is about 8:35 a.m. And let's start by taking a look at the news for today. And 8:30, we had some report come out. We have another one coming out at 10 a.m. Might be a little bit hesitant. Might be a little bit hesitant before 10 o'clock. So we'll have to keep that in mind. Some potential for choppiness. And let's start by adjusting our levels so that they are up to date on our oil chart. Looks like oil did nothing but go up last night, but we'll come back and take a look at that in just 1 second. Okay, so we'll move overnight high. Yeah. And it looks like we'll have to move overnight high again before the open, since we are sitting right at overnight high right now. Overnight high. Oh, this is the VPOC. We'll move that one just 1 second. So open that low, and then yesterday's value area high, yesterday's VPOC, and yesterday's value area low. Sorry if I mumble sometimes. It's just, I guess it kind of happens. Where the hell did that line go? Why not? Okay. All right. There's yesterday's value area low, overnight high, overnight low, and yesterday's VPOC now plotted what appears to be accurately. So let's go over to our homework chart. Sorry, just give me 1 second. All right. So now let's bring in the 60-minute chart. And first thing we'll do is we're going to extend out this micro composite here to include yesterday's tradings, because we were right in the middle of it. And as we were discussing yesterday, we were looking to see if we can push all the way up to that VPOC. If we had continuation, we were expecting to head up towards, 53.51. We'll see. Let's see what happened overnight here. No, we went quite past that, but we'll deal with that in just 1 second. Let's look for any lines, any swings that we can remove based on yesterday's price action. And, this swing here stems off of this low, right? So this low created this swing. So we traded from below it, went right through it, traded from above it, but ultimately it actually held pretty well. So I'm going to leave that on for now. That's really the only level that we went through yesterday. Now we have to draw in yesterday's low. And, just to show you something here. So if you look at that level, if you look where yesterday's low is, okay, right here, it's also sitting next to a microcomposite VPOC. Now that microcomposite VPOC doesn't change, meaning that'll be there. So you don't, if the idea is just to make sure you have a level on a chart, meaning, we want to be sure we have a level in this area. Technically, you don't have to put this swing in. Because you're already going to be respecting this level because of the microcomposite VPOC. I do like to know when there is some type of confluence with levels, where there's more than one level in a particular area that I want to pay attention to. So in this case, I will. You'll see other times, and I think it was yesterday that we had a few where we already had swings near there, and then there was a new swing that was a couple of ticks away, but I didn't draw those new swings in because at that point, for me, at that point, that's different. I don't need 2 or 3 swings within a couple of ticks of each other to tell me that I want to watch that. One swing is all I need. But if it's a microcomposite VPOC, a swing, maybe an HVN like here from the composite, then I'd be interested in kind of seeing that confluence. So that's why I drew that one there. Sorry, I'm getting just some text this morning. Okay, so we just drew in yesterday's low down here. Now let's draw in yesterday's high up here, and same thing, came and tested. This is really perfect examples of what we expect with volume profile. Where we, sorry, I'll be back in 1 second. Sorry about that. These microcomposite VPOCs, those basically tell us, if you remember what those means. That means that at some point we drew a microcomposite stretching over a couple of days, maybe a lot of days, and over that microcomposite profile, the volume, the VPOC was in a particular area, which means the most volume was traded there, which means we had price acceptance or balance to some extent. Well, here, our price went from one end of balance, okay, so this level of balance, this microcomposite VPOC, to another. Absolutely perfectly and expected type of trading range for what we do. So, I didn't take a look back at yesterday's chart. I can just tell by looking here that I would have hit my profit target on my last trade. What I don't know until we look at yesterday's chart is how many other opportunities would we have had to get into trades, including obviously ones that we missed in the morning. Still ended up being a very good trading day yesterday. Okay, so we've drawn in our swing high, we've drawn in our swing low, which is yesterday's high and low. And let's take a look at where we are currently trading, and we'll start putting in some hypotheses. So 53.90, sitting right at overnight high. So this is going to be an interesting one because almost certainly, I wonder, maybe we should wait till we get a little closer to the open. Maybe we should wait till we get a little bit closer to the open to do this hypothesis, because I just know that, we know that high, well, we assume that high overnight is going to be taken out. And that's going to, I certainly want to be as accurate as possible with this homework. So, what we'll do, let's set this one aside for now. And I'll bring that back in as needed. And let's go over, let's take a look at yesterday's chart. Let's do that. Because we always have time to do, if you hear noises in the background, that's Maximus. Still unfortunately a little under the weather, but so he gets to hang out in my room with me. Okay. Also, real quick, take a look at overnight trading. 100%, or as close to 100% as it needs to be, net long right now. So, net long, net short has not worked as well as I would have expected it to. For the times we've been watching it. Now, that's it's a small data set. It's not like we've been watching thousands and thousands of days. We've watched, I don't know, 60, and not every one of them have given us net long, net short opportunities. But what we're going to do in an opening like this, by the time we get to the open, what we're going to look for is we're going to try to find an open of the day setup before we even make that trade, regardless of if it goes well or not. Remember, those are different than what we're watching now. Well, let's just take a look at something here. Take a look at the negative divergence we have. All right, you got price sloping up, while BB sloping down, BB sloping down, and BB sloping down. We do have good negative divergence right here. If I was one to try to take trades in the pre-session, which I just don't yet. That doesn't mean that I won't, but it's not something that I've really gotten into. So so I'm not going to look to start throwing that into the mix just right now. Okay, right now I'm more focused on wanting to be as consistent as possible with the trades that we are normally looking for. I want to stop missing good opportunities, especially when we see them. You know, it's one thing to look in hindsight, which is this is important to do. It's important to look in hindsight and see, oh man, I should have seen that. It's another thing to be in front of the screen. And again, you know, one of the reasons I record this is because I want it for my sake to hear, all right, what was I thinking? I know what I'm thinking now in hindsight. What was I thinking in real time? But so we've had a couple. Yesterday was a good example, or maybe a bad example, however you want to look at it, where I was very clearly right in what I was looking at. I missed this one. All right, I missed that one, but that was a little more due to the fact that, let me just scroll this back here. So we might be getting the same type of setup right now. You can see the BBs from overnight, from high to high. That's actually not that. You know what? I'm going to stand corrected. This really isn't. There's really not that much divergence, negative divergence there. There is from back here, but that's to this high, which is still before the open. Once we get to this high, if we use this previous high as our basis for where we start looking for negative divergence, you really don't have it here. So that's not as bad as a miss as I thought. This next one, however, is this one's pretty nicely set up here. And in fact, it sets itself up this entire way. So first we saw it here, and I believe we saw some absorption in the order flow, and I can't remember it for sure, but I believe we saw some here. Then what happens is we see 21 EMA hold, we see VWAP hold, we come away from it, we test the high, and when we come and we test this high, we're not creating negative divergence. So the assumption is we're going to continue to see it push through. We then come and we test it again, right? So here we test 21 EMA, we test VWAP, it holds, we test high again, and again, although we have very slight negative divergence in the 610, we have none in the 987, none in the 1597. We come and we test here again, and this is where your long is. If you chose not to take one back here, because remember when this was happening, I'm going to widen this out so we can see it a little better. When this price action here was happening, middle of the day is right here with 21 EMA and VWAP. You have a lot of levels in here to be willing to take on a trade here and take some risk. That happens again. Here's your retest. You don't even make it to midday here, and you see 21 EMA and VWAP hold, and you see it with no negative divergence in the BBs. This was a nice long opportunity, and then after that, we actually traded it perfectly. So I'm gonna skip that part for now. We can always go back to yesterday's video to watch that, but we traded this area perfectly. Came in, ultimately missed our profit target by 2 ticks when we made this quick move down. Now, I wasn't in front of the screen when this happened. It seems like I had literally just said goodbye, and I turned back to the screen maybe a minute later, and this move had just taken place. If I was in front of the screen here, there's a very good chance I close out my trade somewhere in here. I see it comes real close and starts moving away. There's a very good chance I close it out, somewhere between 90 and 95. But I am, at this point, looking for a short. Because remember, one of my hypotheses yesterday were, if I remember right, and even if I don't remember right, one of the hypotheses is microcomposite VPOC to microcomposite VPOC. Okay, that's just part of the volume profile, meaning you go from high volume node to high volume node, area of interest, however you want to phrase it. So now that we have failed up here, I would be looking for potential short opportunities, and I'm looking for a level to base those off of, right? So if you look, here's our last point of consolidation, right? So you see me looking for this recently. Of course, we have the value area, the previous day's value area. The solid blue line didn't exist yet. That solid blue line was formed as we got to the end of day yesterday. This is yesterday's value area. Oh shit, that previous blue line probably wasn't there. Sorry. So I don't know. We might not have had a level in here to play off of. So whether or not we use this consolidation, and then in this move up, let's take a look at what the BBs are doing. In this move up, as we start pushing, let's see, BBs come here, they form a high. We don't really get a ton of divergence. We do have a really nice down sloping trend in the 1597 with a little bit of what's called a bear flag. For those of you who don't know what a bear flag is, see it right here. So you have a downward move. That's the beginning sign. You need that in order to even attempt to draw out a bear flag. And a bear flag is where price action moves back in the direction So as a bear flag, it actually moves up, which might be confusing because the word bear means that we're going down. But the bear flag is a, a pause in an in a larger bear move. So there's your bear flag, and there's your next push. So we see that we may be forming a bear flag. I don't know. I honestly don't know if I would have taken this trade or not. I would have liked to have kind of been there to see it. So it's too easy right now to look at this and say, oh, hell yeah, that's a trade I want. There is one other thing we should look at off of this low. Sometimes you'll hear me talk about second entry shorts, but off of this low, let's find what a second entry short would be. I would not count this one because I don't like this signal bar. For those of you who don't know what second entry shorts are, just ignore this for now, okay? I would not count this one because this is a equal bottom. So some people would, I would not. And here's your first entry short. Here's your second entry short. So you could, if you want, take a short as you come under this VWAP here. But I'm not going to get into much detail about that right now. That'll come at a later date. Okay. Then we get another pullback back up to VWAP. And again, now at this point, we've seen VWAP hold. We've seen VWAP be respected. It kind of lost a little bit of value to us over here, but it was also flattening out. That's something else we want to keep an eye on. As you go flat in the VWAP, it tends to be a little bit less important, which is true anytime you're dealing with any type of moving average, because that means you're going into an area of consolidation. So here's a pullback. There's a pullback here. This actually also has a second entry short. First entry. If you regarded this bar as a second entry, which I would not, it's way too big of a candle. It's too small of a body. So my second entry short would be here. But more along with more of that, we also are sitting at a microcomposite VPOC. We are sitting at what was overnight high. We were sitting at opening range high. So now we have a few areas here that could potentially show good trade opportunity, and we also have consolidation back here, and it looks like we ultimately tested into consolidation back here. So this actually looks like a pretty nice trade setup. I don't know that I would have seen this one. This actually looks like a better trade setup to me than this does. Even though this trade worked out really nicely, this is one I would have had a little more difficulty taking because we're kind of in that no man's land. This gap of levels here. So this is another decent trade setup. We come down, we come to the microcomposite epoch that we were looking for, and let's see what happens as we come across. Let me just make this a little easier. And there it is. This is our trade setup right here. Look at the divergence between here and here on the 610, 987. You don't get it on the 1597. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'd prefer all 3, but this is absolutely a nice trade setup because you're sitting at a level that matters to you. You've created your divergence. Really good trade setup here. Where it ends up going and where we would expect it to go, honestly, right now I don't remember, so I couldn't tell you. Guys, hang on 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, guys, thanks so much. So this is the beginning, buddy. So what I was saying was, as far as where we would even look at profit targets in a trade like this, I don't remember so much, the actual hypotheses of yesterday, but it's fairly simple, right? And I'm sorry, I don't want to oversimplify what we're doing, but the concepts are: we get into our trade, we're going to look for our first profit target. Usually you'll hear me say 10 ticks, right? So if let's just say you're in the trade around 77, so 87 puts you right here. That's beautiful because you're still beneath the top of this consolidation. Just in case this continues to hold this consolidation, that's great. Here's something that another one of those things that I've been trying to and intend to try to incorporate. So let's take a look where the top is here. And if I continue drawing that straight out, sorry, that's not straight, but there we go. One of the things I've been looking at doing, and again, I will add all this into the repertoire later, is adding into positions. And if you remember a couple of days ago, I talked about how so many times when we come through a level with aggressiveness, that level holds on the retest from the opposite side. So here's an example where that doesn't happen. We come through. Now, it doesn't happen and it doesn't matter because at this point I'm not looking for a short, meaning we come through this level up to the downside quickly, nice big bullish bar. Let me see what time it is. I don't want to mess up like I did yesterday. 4 minutes. We come through this microcomposite VPOC and this swing low here. We come through with aggressiveness, big bullish bar. Then we test it from the bottom and we break right back above it. But take a look here, right? So now we're starting to look for long opportunities, right? So we just had a divergence. We're going long. We push through this level quickly. This level is now microcomposite VPOC, recent micro triple bottom. Now we push out above it and we start retesting this as support. For those of you who are looking for ways to add onto your trade and regions to add onto your trade, this is a great one. It's not because of divergence. It's not because of negative divergence. Certainly, we have nice trend in the BBs. We tested the bottom of VWAP. That is no doubt a point of concern. But look where VWAP is at this point, 52.99. On this pullback, if you're in at 89, you have 10 ticks to VWAP. Okay, now obviously you're getting into this position because you believe it's going to go beyond VWAP. But in a case like this, if you want to add on, you certainly can. And you don't even need to necessarily have a 10 tick profit target in that case. You could add on, take a smaller profit target if you just want to build some of your P&L, profit and loss, or you can treat it like another contract. I'm looking for my 10 ticks. And in a case like this where 10 ticks takes you exactly to the VWAP, you could cheat it a couple of ticks. You could look for 8 ticks. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's somewhere that if you were, you could have been looking to add on to your position. So anyway, so if you're into your contract, if you're into a position from down here, 10 ticks would be one place that I would look to get out of. Actually, VWAP would have been another place I would look to get out of because again, it's been respected enough. So I would look at that for the second area to get out of. And my third profit target would probably have been close to where our previous day's high, right? So I mean the high of day that we had already put in. So probably around 19. So I would have missed that third profit target by a bit. But again, this is one of those scenarios where if I'm in front of the screen and I'm getting this close to my profit target, and you guys have seen me do this before, if I get to 53.16 and my profit target's 53.19 and I'm in front of the screen, usually what'll end up happening is I'll bring up a stop so that I'm only risking. If there's only 3 ticks left for me to make, I'm only going to risk a couple of ticks. I'm going to have a stop in at about 53.10, 53.13, somewhere around there. So I'm out somewhere up here. I don't get the full extent of the move, and nobody should expect to. But that's another great trade setup off of what we're watching for right here. That's a beautiful one. All right, let's get ready for the open here. Let's see what we've done. So we've created a micro quadruple top at overnight high. We've started coming back down off of it. Still the idea of, oh shit, I didn't do expectations, did I? Right, because I want to wait till we got closer. What time is it? Darn it. All right, guys, I'm sorry, but we're just gonna kind of have to watch the levels this morning. We're gonna have a huge gap up. But that's okay. I'm kind of happy that we had a chance to look at yesterday, but I would really have liked to have put together some homework levels here. All right. Oopsie. Silly me. Okay, here we go. Open, immediate push above. Slowing down. All right, so we're in this trade. Okay. Remember, I don't care how well or badly this one goes. This is not one of the trades that we are learning as far as those types of strategies and understandings. So this trade is based on the fact we're opening at overnight high. We are net long, so we're expecting some type of correction on that. We have a huge gap up where I'm expecting just even the slightest effort to close some of that gap, which right now is not happening. And if that does happen, first, where are we in? 95. First target's going to be 85. Second target 71. And you can see basically all I'm doing is I'm putting targets ahead of these microcomposite VPOCs. I'm going to come a little higher than expected. This one also happens to be just above overnight VPOC as well. So we'll front run this a little bit more too. All right, that's it. Now in the meantime, we are going to wait. What just happened? Oh, this dumb shit, man. All right, we're short 95. I. Oh man, I'll just make a note here. Short 95. Stop. 05. Targets 85. I don't remember what the other ones were actually. 85, 73. I'm gonna call it 57. Okay. This such bullshit. Okay. All right, so let's again forget we're in that trade, and that's fine for testing purposes. But forget that for now. Let's now look at what we're looking for in setups for the next trade. And this at that point would be the type of trade that we are working on developing and understanding our strategy for. So we've opened right at the overnight high, pushed above overnight high. We're currently still testing overnight high, not really getting much of a pullback. Which is definitely a sign of strength. But we don't see a lot of strength in the BBs at this point. So the problem is I'm not looking to go short in this style of trading. The initial short had nothing to do with this style of trading. I'm not looking to go short right now because I have a fairly big gap up to the next level here above us, this swing at the 54.19. And looking over our homework chart, it doesn't look like we're missing any levels here. So that is accurate. And the gaps only continue. Right, you can see here. What is this? Yeah, exactly. So sorry, I'm talking to myself. But all those levels are from the homework chart, which is nice. At least that's working properly right now. I honestly don't even know what to do with this NinjaTrader to even attempt to make it trade accurately. This is such bullshit. But right now, with the way it's trading, sorry guys, give me 1 second. Okay, with the way it's trading, I'm more interested in potentially finding a long setup right now than a short setup. In our normal method of trading, we should give this method a name. I don't know what the hell we would call it, but you know what? We're gonna call it the Maximus style of trading. That's what that will be. Why not? Why? Because you're my lucky charm. My little gift from God. All right, so still pushing up here. It's ironic. So far, these opening of the day trades really haven't worked out well. The reason I say it's ironic is because that's what my entire trading lifestyle used to be, was look for that momentum very, very early on. Now back then, where are we going back now? It's 2002, so 15, 16 years. Back then, momentum would last more than just the entire first hour. Used to be crazy, but it's interesting. It's interesting how some of the information, this idea, like I was saying before, this idea of net long and net short doesn't seem to have the same type of validity in oil as it does in the ES. Now, to be fair, that's based on stuff I have watched and read, and a little bit that I've watched the ES. I don't mean over the last few days. I mean in the past, but but it's good to know. This is good information to be picking up and potentially understanding. And again, mind you, this is a very small data set, so it's too early to even potentially discuss the the validity of these opening day, the right at the open of the day type of trades. And you certainly do not need to be in a trade right at the open. Again, I've talked very candidly about what my downfalls are as a trader, and that is in my impatience. Now I have gotten much better, and this is something that all of you guys can learn from, myself included. Screen time. You get in front of the screen. I don't care if it's at the actual open of the day. I know we all got jobs. We all have responsibilities. With NinjaTrader, it gives you the opportunity to replay a day at any time that's good for you. One of the reasons I'm recording these videos is for those of you who would rather watch this at a later time and see and hear what we're looking at real time. That's great. You got every single one of us, with very rare exception, can find an hour a day, or let's call it 2 hours a weekend if you can't do it every day, at least to get some screen time in and start understanding. Because the patience that I've developed over the last now couple of months, I'm telling you, if you saw any of my trading a couple of months ago, it was drastically different. And unfortunately, because of these stupid phantom fills, it's not even worth showing you stuff in NinjaTrader because it's all going to be nonsense. But I can tell you, in a morning like right now, I probably would have made at least two trades. But I have most of my mornings back then, and back then is literally only a couple months ago, anywhere from 15 to 25 trades, which is crazy, which is absolutely crazy for what I'm looking for. Today, I'd have no problem if I enter one trade in the morning, right? I think that's actually what happened yesterday, and there's probably a few days where we wait, we look for our good setup, we see it, we react to it, we don't. Now, where sometimes where I mess up is when I see a setup, I even talk about seeing a setup, and I don't react to it. Speaking of which, let's look at what's happening right now. So we've moved down, certainly not the momentum I was looking for, and from this low to here, we've made a higher low with lower lows in these BBs. That is actually a potential bearish sign. That's a sign that the things. That is potentially a strong sign, a bullish sign. That is signs that we might be seeing a reversal here. So we're going to keep an eye out for this. We might consider starting to look for a long. We've pulled back to the open of the day. We are below VWAP. We are below 21 EMA. So I'm not I'm not crazy about it. So I think for now we're just going to sit on our hands. Here's another good example of in order for this to get back above VWAP, maybe give us a little bit of a better price action entry. Nice candlestick setup or something like that. We'll probably still have some of this hidden divergence in the BBs, but at that point, we're going to be so close to the current high of day. And early in the day, these rules change a little bit. Early in the day, of course, you don't expect the high of day to be in yet, meaning you don't expect it to be done. But the flip side of it is we have our hidden divergence here that's potentially a bullish sign, but we're also setting up negative divergence. If we were to make a new high right now, the expectation is that we are going to have negative divergence excuse me, on what looks to me actually like potentially all three of these charts. I said before, I'm not really looking to get into a short unless it sets up really nicely in the Maximus version of trading, because we have this huge gap up here. In my opinion, if you were looking to get short, if you looked at this negative divergence and said, hey, you know what, I like it, I'm looking for an opportunity to get short here, you can if you're using this test from beneath, if you're using VWAP middle of the day as a potential short entry, I would tell you probably need to scale towards high of day, and your stop has to be pretty much just above it, because if we break high of day, we just don't have anything between that and this next swing to kind of use as a stop area. So if on the other hand you take a short now, which I'm not going to yet, It is setting up nicely though. Let's see if we can't get a little bit of price action failure up here. So far, no. But you got your negative divergence on the 610. You've lost it on the 987. You still have it on the 1597. 987 is barely negative, which is still good right now because, well, now it's positive. Because not only are you flat at the high, you're actually creating a new high, and not creating a new high on the BBs. So still looks like it could be setting up for a decent short, but I'm gonna want more here. I'm gonna want more information to want to jump into a short. I might even look for a second entry short here. We have our first entry short technically down here. We have not yet broken lows. Again, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, just ignore it. So if we get a nice bearish candle here, I'd like to see maybe without it getting too much higher, without the high getting too much higher than it is right now, and maybe a close down here at 54 even or so. I would look to take a short on the next candle if we break below that. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so we didn't get it there. That's just indecision right there. That's not there's no real downside pressure. Even if it comes below here, I'm not taking a short yet. The opening of the day trade, as of right now, we'd be a tick away from getting stopped out. And again, I'm just saying it to keep track, not because I can tell you right now, when trading live, I will not be using opening of the day trades, probably for quite some time. It's something I will still want to continue to develop and watch, but it's not, certainly do not have the confidence or consistency with that type of stuff yet. You can see this real nice uptrend from overnight, which is not surprising. We saw what the trading overnight looked like. It was just flat out straight up. That's it. We sat around yesterday's close. Again, in between these micro composite epochs, kind of building up some energy, and then as soon as we got outside of it, I'm guessing there was a news release or something yesterday night. I don't really care. There was a strong push. Then we had a consolidation here, giving us overnight VPOC ultimately. And we got a high volume node down here. We should we'll keep an eye on this too. Let's just see where that lines up. Since we already have an IB lower 1 here, not something I normally pay too much attention to, but it's lining up with a high volume node from overnight, just another area of consolidation. I'm going to watch this area back here for potential pullback. So let's just keep that in mind, 5380-ish. All right, let's see what's happening here. Okay, there's a move down. There's that second entry short I was looking for potentially. That is a big bearish bar right here. I'll tell you. So I'm putting all 3 in right now. I'm taking a short here. I'm going to leave my stop just above high a day. I'm not scaling. I have no intention of scaling here. Technically, I guess we could have, but not really, because I don't have a second level in between what's my current high a day. This is a dynamic level, meaning this is a level that was just created during the day. This is a more aggressive trade than I normally take, but you've heard me talk about trying to maybe catch a little bit more opportunity than what we have been so far. But let me show you why I'm taking this trade. So number one, we have negative divergence as we're creating new highs. So that's one variable that is nice. We're not doing it at an existing level that we've watched for. You know, we're not looking at a swing or a form of epoch or marker composite epoch or anything like that. So this isn't a bit of a no man's land. So I'm not 100% crazy about that, but that's, you know, this is why we test. So, and my second reasoning for it is the fact that we had this micro double top with a nice bearish candle down. And I would like to see now, obviously, continuation of that bearish move. With this is a second entry short. And I'll try to actually explain what second entry short means. Okay, so hang on, let's see what happens here. Just lost divergence on the 987, although we really didn't have it there. It's the other two, the 610 and 1597, have been showing the divergence. So second entry short works kind of like this. Here is a low, a swing low, okay? And whenever you create a swing low, you start a count at 0, okay? And you could pick any of these swing lows to start it at 0, but I'm using this one, first swing low from the opening of the day. Then, as you go away from that swing low, as you go up, you look for a candle that has broken the low of the previous candle. So let me get rid of these crosshairs. Maybe this will help. So you can see here, make this bigger. So here's a candle. Here's the low. This is the first one since this swing low. So this candle, we don't break below it. This candle, I can't right now, but this candle, we don't break below it. Here's a candle, we do break below it here. But this is a very small candle. It is bullish. I'm sorry, it is bearish. So you could have counted this as your first entry short. You don't take this one. Now, as you push down, you get to another swing low, but you do not break the previous swing low. So at this point, you have what's called a count of 1 if you use this as your first entry short. You don't start counting again until you make another push up. So, and sometimes that happens within 1 or 2 candles. But in this case, we move down. We don't yet make a push up. Now we make our next push up, and again, we don't break any of these candles lows. And then here's a candle. Although we break the low of this candle, I don't like this signal bar. The signal bar is the candle that ultimately we break its low. And when you're looking for a second entry short, you want that signal bar to be bearish. And this does have a nice, obviously a nice big red body, good bearish candle. And that's why, that's the second part of why I took this trade. Negative divergence at the top on 2 of the 3 charts, and ultimately a second entry short. And admittedly, this is more aggressive than I would normally be. You know, but it is a setup that I have seen, that we've watched. We don't have another, like I said, we're not at a level here. You know, we're at a dynamic level only, the current high a day only, which is not the greatest level to go off of, but we'll watch it. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't just close me out whenever the hell it feels like it. I'm almost afraid to put in profit targets because I get a feeling that's kind of what's throwing me off. All right, so I have 3 individual. That's interesting. All right, let's see what that does. I'm really afraid of putting in a profit target here. Where's our entry right now? So just in case we need to remember, 99. Okay. So definitely first profit target is going to be. You know, I'll tell you. I'm gonna wait to see what happens here. We're gonna come a tick above low. I'm okay with that. What is it? 89? No, 89 is the low. I'm actually okay with that too. I believe that if this trade were to work out, if we were to push down, get below VWAP, get below 21 EMA, I'm using this swing here. Okay, so I'm okay with this. 2 ticks above the swing happens to be a 10 tick profit target. Okay, that's fine. Remember, mother unfucking real. All right, so it just filled the one at 89. Unbelievable. All right, short 99. Sorry, wait, don't go too fast. Don't go too fast. Hang on, price. Wait. I mean, go ahead. But um, all right, and I'll come in and adjust this in just a second. So target's going to be 89, and then if you remember, we talked about right near this IB1 type of high volume area here. So that's going to be target number 2. We're going to do it around, we'll call it 79. And these are fairly conservative price targets right now, because you know what, I'm not going to use 79. I'm not going to use 79. I am going to move it down some, because I'm going to go with context here. Such a big move up overnight, big gap up, all inventory long. I mean, you know, actually technically I don't know if we'd still be in that trade from the overnight. It's a good question. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, from the open today, it doesn't really matter. But I don't want to. I'm going to put my second profit target down here, 71. Might be a little greedy. I'm going to split it. I'm going to go 73. And my third profit target. And again, I'm gonna place it with the assumption that I won't be in front of the screen. Okay. Yesterday's high is all the way down here. I can't necessarily expect a retracement all the way back down there. So we're gonna go off of overnight VPOC and this microcomposite VPOC, which is 52. We're gonna go at 57. We're gonna front run that a little bit more, since at that point we're in such a nice trade. Okay. All right. Unfortunately, I can't actually place these orders, which, oh man, is that burning a hole in my ass right now. Well, let's see. All right, let's see what's happening. So, so far, really good trade entry, right? We had our negative divergence up here. We used our second entry short. Could have gotten in at a better price point. You know, we could have waited for this next spike up. We could have entered a little bit earlier. A lot of other ways this could have been handled, but this is how we entered, right? So now, again, more aggressive than usual. That doesn't make it right or wrong. We'll ultimately know that in a bit. But nice downwards pressure on all the BBs right now. Let's see if we can't get to test low of day here. I'm watching this number here, this 316, 315 number. I want to see, as we put, that was nice. Just took out maybe 130 contracts on that big push down. I'd like to see more of that. That was surprising, because I wouldn't have expected, like, you know, an area where people have a bunch of stops sitting. Now under here, if we can get to low a day, you know, even below open here, I would expect, you know, a large bit of volume to show up in this push, because right now you got a lot of people that have their stop prices here. People that have gotten long have stops right underneath here. So I wouldn't be surprised below 90. Especially if we can just get to 88. I wouldn't be surprised to see a big flush down here, or a quick flush down. You know, like a sharp kick through. What time is it? All right, 4 minutes to the open of the indices. No divergence here at the bottom of day just yet. I would tell you, if I was not short right now, I would be looking potentially for another short opportunity. I got 21 EMA, VWAP, middle of the day, all kind of congested here. I would love to see, even if I get a little bit of consolidation right here, although I'd rather not have consolidation. I'd really rather see this push and then let this area that we had consolidation back here and what's now forming here, I'd like to see us get out of this, get to my first target, and I don't mind the retracement, but I don't want it to then come outside of this consolidation. And I would be looking for another short opportunity somewhere within that consolidation range. But let's see. First things first, it needs to get down from there. Did not have a chance to do homework on the ES. Sorry. What I'm probably going to start doing at some point is I might start doing the homework before, maybe the night before, or maybe late afternoon, like after the close, because I have all the data I'm going to need from the regular trading session in oil by 2:30 p.m. and with the S&P by 4. What is it? What time does it close down? 4:15, 4:30? I think 4:15, right? Yeah, 4:15. So I might start doing the homework at a different time so that I can use the mornings to do a little more of a review of the trading session. But honestly, right now I don't have the time for that. So I try to do as much of it as I can right before the open. But I would even today with oil, we didn't really get a chance to do our actual hypotheses, but that's okay. Look, those hypotheses are great. It gets you prepared for what you might see happen, right? But one of those hypotheses, no doubt, would be we're opening at overnight high. So what we're gonna look for is, where is overnight high actually? Did I lose it? Right here. So we're opening right at overnight high. One hypothesis is going to be a break above overnight high, fail with divergence, looking for an opportunity to go short. And that's exactly what we had happen here. I doubt we would have drawn one out to this level, because remember, this is a more aggressive trade than normal. I doubt we would have drawn it right to here, but ultimately this is the type of setup that we look for. I would have liked another level for added confidence. I always like added confidence. So let's see if we can't get outside this range here. About a minute and a half to the open for the S&P and all the other indices. This is certainly the risk that we have in this trade, is that we were so close. 10 ticks away from our entry is the low of day. So the risk being that low of day holds, so we don't really have enough to take our 10 tick profit target. One of the things that, again, if we were planning for this trade, which I did not do, I reacted to this trade more so than planned for it. I would have seen, okay, lower day right now is 89. I want to be into this. I want to be into this trade. At least 01. At that point, maybe I would have looked at this as a second entry short. Right underneath this green candle, into this large bullish candle. Maybe I would have taken my trade on here, but I was not prepared for that. It wasn't. Like I said, I saw it, reacted to it. This trade was not planned out. Certainly was not planned out properly. Let's just take a quick look at the S&P overnight. What are we? We are. Wait a minute. What the hell is this? Oh shit! Overnight we are net long S&P. That's about all I can tell you. Oh wait a minute. What am I talking about? We're sitting at the all-time highs right now in S&P. S&P can kiss my ass. The only thing I'm going to be looking for in the S&P are going to be longs. I'm not looking to get short at the open. No way, no how. We're out of our first contract here in oil. No way I'm looking to get short right now. I think the only way I would trade S&P is going to be longs, or if we see a type of setup like this, maybe we'd be willing to put some risk on there. But other than that, I honestly, I don't even have any homework to do in the S&P. I mean, I guess there is something. But... All right, oil's come down, created new lows in price. We've created new lows in BBs. That's a good sign. So we'd be out of our first contract. And tell you the truth, I'm not sure that I would move my stop to break even here. In fact, I probably would. I'd put it right back to where it was for now. Because remember earlier I was talking about profit targets. What's my second one here? What did I say I was going to do? 73. So from where we're sitting right now, I got 14 ticks in profit. I have 20 in risk. But I'm already out of a contract, okay? What I don't want to have happen, I don't want to have price come against me, stop me out right here, where I would probably be looking to get into more of a short, and then turn back around. So I would not be all that aggressive in moving my stop, not to here at least. Now, as we make this next push down, I would like to see it come further than that. As we make this next push down, maybe there would be some adjustment to the stop, but for now, let's just kind of wait and see what happens. Now, admittedly, in my trading, I don't like. I am going to move this to break even. I don't like giving up profits from a good trade, and the reason I'm moving this to break even, by the way, is this. Remember, we talked about what I'm looking for is this consolidation now to hold. We've pushed through it. I'm okay with the retest into it. I don't want to see a retest through it. That would scare me. So that is why I'm okay moving my stop there.
That's your friend.
ES is
Does your friend love you? That's your friend.
ES is making highs. Oh, sorry, testing high of day. While we're just sitting around, let me if you guys don't know what Hatchimals are, Maximus is playing with one of his Hatchimals and he's teaching it how to talk. So fucking cute. Okay. So obviously those aren't accurate yet. I'm just getting them so they're in my view when I get up here. I hope that while I'm doing this, I'm not missing something on oil. That would kind of suck. Okay. So at least we got those areas in place. What did I do? I haven't done much of anything. You know, and again, at this point, what I just talked about, remember I just drew out, we have consolidation here, and then the one I just drew was consolidation here. I don't mind the test back up, even if that ultimately means a little more consolidation, push through. And the same thing could happen here. We can get consolidation here. What would even be a better scenario would be consolidation here, no real pullback, maybe just towards the bottom end of this consolidation. Our next move down, you know, which I'd love to see push us into our next profit target, down towards what was it, 73, our profit target. So right. Right down here. Okay. And let's see what the S&P is doing. S&P testing highs, making new highs in the BBs. So we are going to start watching for a potential long opportunity here. About to test the overnight high. Technically, we do have oil just broke through that consolidation there a little bit. Come on, oil, keep going. Let's bring that price of gas down. Let's see. I'm going to multitask for a second here. So I am actually going to have to run in just a couple of minutes, but I want to bring in this homework chart. I want to show you guys something here. This is oil, okay? And what's happening, just kind of center this a little better. What's happening is this. So we opened up today. Really, the trade entry actually worked out very, very nicely. Obviously, not just because it's going in our favor, but for a couple of reasons. What price is this? 57. Okay. Oh, that works out so perfectly. All right. Anyway, so look. So we're testing value area high of this large micro composite. This thing goes back months now. I mean, I think it's literally we're at 2 months of balance. We just tested above it towards this swing. Did I see that swing? Did we see that swing on the other chart? Or is that not on there? That is not on there. Mother. Hey, you know what? That worked out really, really well that that we took it when we did. It's probably because this is a ray. Yeah, okay. Let me fix this. Man, I'll tell you what. Admittedly, we got lucky that we happened to be willing to get a little more aggressive on this trade. But had we seen this level, we would absolutely be in this trade. So yeah, it worked out nice. So we came up, we tested this swing up here. We now pushed our way back into value of this microcomposite. And what I'm doing, well, that's certainly not what I'm doing. I'm sorry about that. What I'm doing right now, what the way this trade is setting up is we've taken our first profit target as we came back into value. We have our next profit target above this microcomposite epoch, right? So we're somewhere about here. And our last profit target right now is at this low volume node, the bottom of this distribution. So right now, what we're trading is this distribution. If ultimately we make our way down, we get through it, then we're going to start to watch to see if we hold in this distribution. These two areas right now, this top distribution and this, what I'm calling top and bottom. I mean, this isn't top and bottom of the entire microcomposite, but just relative to each other. This is our best area for trade right now. If we can see some levels hold and give us setups in these distributions, like we just actually did see one, technically this distribution doesn't stop here, it stops here. So the fact that we're out of value doesn't really matter in this distribution. Actually, really, this distribution stops right at this swing. I mean, that's awesome. So the trade we're in right now, if it works, who the hell knows, right? I mean, the market can do whatever it wants, whenever it wants to. Nothing I'm doing means that it's going to be more or less likely to actually do what I want it to do. But this particular trade, if this acts like you expect it to in the volume profile scenario, this will be a great trade. You could, if you really wanted to get a little really aggressive on your last profit target, and I'll show you what this would be, you could go all the way down. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a note of this so we have it. This is microcomposite VPOC of that largest microcomposite, 23. I'm going to put my third target down at 30 because I'm not going to be in front of the screen. But let me tell you, there's probably going to be a lot of things that happen between here and there. Oh, silly me. So let's just put this here. Oh, you know what? That's all right. We'll leave this at this. Look, if you were... Wait, are we out? Are we out of the second one? 73? No, not yet. If you were to look at this tomorrow, or if you watch it and you end up seeing it later on today, what you're watching for now, okay, I'm going to bring this big chart back in. What you're watching for now is if, A, can we push down towards 57 until it's this low volume node, which also means I have to adjust my exit price, because 57 right now, which is my exit price, is at that low. No, it's fine, because I can easily see that coming through there towards that market. Okay. Anyhow, if we continue to push down and we get down towards 57, right, and we see 57 start to build up, start to hold, then we're going to expect a rotation back up towards here, right? 06 to 57. Not a huge range, it's bigger than what we've seen recently, 50 ticks, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, for oil, 50 ticks is really nothing. Oil has days and times where the ranges are absolutely huge. So at this point, and I'm going to say again, if I'm trading live right now, right, what I'm looking for is I'm looking to see, are we going to start getting some absorption down here, like we just saw a tiny bit of. I see ES coming out to high, so right now I would be out of my second position. That's it. I'm out at 79, not even 78, 79. That's it. Third contract is still left on. So at this point, in this trade, I'm up $300, 20 ticks on one contract, 10 ticks on another, and I'm going to hang on and wait for my third. So let's just change this so that we have a record of it. We got out at 79, and then we would be looking for. I'm now looking for the last of my profit targets, which is at 57, and I would actively be managing the stop to an extent. Again, I'm not interested in putting a stop here because we have this little bit of overlapping bars here. See this little consolidation? So I don't mind the move back into here, you know, even all the way up to here. I don't mind the move all the way back up to there and potentially looking for another short opportunity, you know, to add into my position. So I don't want to get stopped out here and then have this fail. You know, this is, let's say this is where the move comes back to, into this consolidation. I don't want to get stopped out in this consolidation. I would be willing to get stopped out above somewhere out here, if need be. But for now, stop would continue to be a break even, and so far we're in for a good trade. Really good out on my second exit here. If I cared much to be back into it, I can get into it again right now, and just have added 4 or 5 ticks to my profit. I could have been out at 79, back in at 84. I'm into my second contract again, and I've just added 5 ticks to profit. So really good out right there. ES, let's take a look at it before I bolt. ES making testing high, negative divergence on the 1597, pretty flat on the 2584. I can't really call that negative divergence. And then we have positive 4181. Still no short setup here. Still would be looking for a long. And let's go right back to oil here. Sorry for all that bouncing around. Right back to oil. We've come right into this consolidation that we were just talking about. This micro double top. This would be a real nice spot for this move back to fail and give us a nice further push down. At this point, if we chose to, we could be back into another contract and have added 6, 7, even 8 ticks to. Oh, wait a minute. You know, 8 ticks from the time we got out to the time we're back in. So once again, good out on that second contract. ES, new highs. No divergence, no negative divergence in any of the BBs in the ES. Excuse me. I wonder if I have a mute button for this mic, so I can mute it quickly so you guys don't have to hear me sneeze at you. Okay. So all in all, for me, I would consider this a very good day of trading. Didn't have a chance to do the homework, and we got lucky. I admit that we decided to take this trade here. We would have had a better entry price had we known about this level. But that's okay. You know, still trade worked out. Trade worked out very nicely. And now that's it. Now you guys just if you guys have any questions, as usual, email me, comment on any of the videos. If you have my number, text me, and then I'll do my best to answer them next time we're on the screen together. All right, guys, have a great day.